Guess it just chugs a bit whenever I'm downloading something off the first of it. Okay, that's fine. We'll just leave it at that then. Actually kind of need the one that I'm working on. Texture. Need to yank some of these out. All right, so that will be the first half that I need to do the jacket on. So let's see here. Hey there, Nicaro. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully the evening's running well for you so far. I'm just getting some quick exporting done at the moment, but how are you? Now, how will this actually display? Then that did actually put it in here. And it's just gonna do that. Okay. That's fine. That'll give me my layering at the very least to know where I can put everything. Let's see here. Oops. Yeah, how is your weekend going so far, Nick? Hopefully well. These can go away. Don't need extra jacket nonsense. Yep. All right then. Order number 1. We need to get gray cubes. Mm. Mm. There, there. There. A little bit more. There. Then here. And then well, all right. Then I can just do that when I need to. But that just gives us a good starting point. Now, how does that work on the top of the collar? Works all right on the top of the collar. So let's see here. Lock transparency. Let's grab a slightly darker one. Get some tone scrape going. Give that a little bit of texture to it. Then probably a little more on the bottom. All right, let's see here. Guess I should probably do that to the rest of it, though, shouldn't I? Really? Do that again. Might be a better way of doing this. Reset buttons are your friend at times. Let's see here. No. Let's see. Does a little bit more around. Four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10. Oh, hello. I didn't even notice you up here. Merge below. Put that over a little bit more, actually. 6, 10. About 20. I'm probably going to have to make this a little bigger, but we'll see. Let's see. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10. 1, 2, 3, 10. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to make this a lot bigger. Size. Whip that out. Nope. So better. Hello. This is also how I kind of just make some of my patterns, by the way, just to explain what I'm doing. Makes it relatively easy when stuff is symmetrical, so Clip Studio helps with that a little bit. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Below. Then we just do that one more time. I'm just going to expand this out a little bit more. Hey there, Solace. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully the evening's treating you alright so far. We're just doing a little bit of manipulation at the moment to make the sound wave design that I periodically use on my clothing. But how are things on your side so far? Oops. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that works. Merge the layer below. Duplicate and go up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 6, 7, 10. There we go. Let's see, doing okay. I water gunned a volcano to death. Oh, are you using Chen against the snail? Or Chalter against the snail, rather? Because Chalter is kind of a good way of doing that. I honestly didn't think to use Chalter because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to keep her alive. And with the one, what is it? The one risk, it doesn't seem very easy to keep her on the map. Yep. Merge below. Duplicate. Wait, did I actively... Okay, I didn't put it on perfectly. I thought I just dragged that up perfectly on the first try. That would have been silly. Do. Mm-hmm. There we go. And she made it that much easier, huh? I honestly didn't think that she would because it was more of a, like, tanky jerk, but I guess I can't be too surprised anymore. There we go. Gives us a full grid to work with at least. Merge with layer below. She was a 1-unit solution of the volcano. I might have gotten away with not healing her, but I didn't make the chance, or I didn't take the chance. I suppose that's fair then. Shelter usually is just kind of an answer, so. That really not select in there, huh? Magic Selector, you're doing some weird stuff lately. Did I do something to that? Hmm. Weird, I didn't even think I put them that close together. Hmm. Wait, are you drawing all of the Pokemon? Oh, no, that's not what the grid is for. Don't worry. I'm actually going to be working on my model a little bit, so I needed to put the grids together because that's something that's not very well seen on my clothing, but it is something that I do. So I should probably make it a little bit more prominent this time around. But there is a bit of a sound wave design on the jacket and the pants. Although, why is this not... Like, I get that to put them only 20 pixels apart, but it should be able to get in between there to select it all. Right? I don't suppose it's that, actually. It was that. Okay. Select. Expand selected area by 5. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, just wanted to make them a little bit less close together. Although this does kind of bring in an interesting point that this probably would be a good way of just putting the chart together. There. Just have a gigantic grid like this and just kind of work it as you need it. Yep. Merge down. Shoot. There we go. Admittedly not visually appealing right now, but I mostly just need the giant box of squares for the patterning. So having this will be helpful, even if this is on a ridiculously large canvas. Grid. Stone. Down grid. No. Let's see. Export, single layer, PNG, sound, up, up. Let's see. Open, down grid. Probably be a lot bigger than all of this, and that's expected. I need to make it apparent enough to appear on the jacket, but not super big that it's obnoxious. And this will also need to be on the entirety of the collar, so something like that will work. That should work okay. Alright then, so what we do to not make this completely screw things up is we will do that. We'll do that. And we'll just get rid of it from all of these. Actually, easier way. There we go. And then what I do past that is usually get rid of chunks of this at a time. So say we do that, that, might need to actually go up a bit more, but you can kind of see what I mean by just cutting out chunks to make it a bit more of a soundboard. Because it's like, what is the icon for that? Do I have BTTV emotes in here? There it is. So it's mainly like that. That's roughly what I'm trying to make. Or at least in a more physical term. Because I like that design a little bit too much, and I'm alright with stealing it. That's there. Pretty sure this part won't be seen, so we don't need to worry about that too much. That's actually a bit too much. Play Tetris a little bit better, Jude. Here. This one can honestly be a little bit higher. So can this one. Probably put some deeper cuts in here, can't I? Just a couple. There. There. That should work. Again, I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be noticeable because there's going to be a jacket over top of it. So this I'm pretty sure is just blank anyways. So why don't we do that? Yeah, that's going to be a little bit hard to see anyways because there's not going to be too much of it showing. So it's just not bad to go for the overkill. Let's see here. Now, can I get this in, whoops, a way where this just clips onto that? Okay, it's just someone else streaming. I don't need to worry about that. We'll start with that. And then we can fold in a little bit big. Also too faint, apparently. Oh, it's because I'm using the tone scraping. That's why it's off. Cute. Go. Then I might try and get... Oh, wrong one. That's the one I would want to do. Mostly. It'll be a little bit of finagling just to make it work. We'll say that much. Hey there, Liz. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully the evening's running all right for you so far. I'm just working on some model-y stuff at the moment. But how are things on your side? You're a little confused, but everything's fine. Do you mind if I ask what you're confused about exactly? And is it by chance something that I've done? Say a lady on Twitter got across the street? Okay, yeah. Here, here. What am I erasing exactly? A duplicate of the shirt. I am blind. 8. So, hmm. She had the lovely idea to not only stand her dumbass in the middle of the street, but also in front of the oncoming scooter. The woman got hit like a GTA ragdoll character. Oh, Jesus. Um, that is a good question, admittedly. It's not one that's easily answerable either, sadly. If only because of the fact that sometimes people don't necessarily realize what they're trying to do with their current actions, which always leads to a bit of a headache, because then you have to explain to someone that they are causing more issues than they're actually attempting to do by doing something simple. But I guess that is kind of the awkward part about Twitter in the first place. People tend to just kind of run into the street because there's a burger lying there. Try this again, but with a slightly more brighter blue. There we go, it's a bit better. Here, spray paint. The real kicker, though, the scooter was halfway down the road when she stopped. She had all the time in the world to move. I think that just kind of comes with the territory of people don't always recognize. Well, yeah, that just goes back to the point I was saying. People don't necessarily just recognize the obvious, unfortunately. Like, it'd be nice if they did, but people don't always kind of stand out of the way of traffic, as it were. I almost feel like I should put a darker thing up there. Let's see here. If I do put the darker one up there, not that big. About that. That should work a bit better. Okay. Not too bad conceptually. What if I do this? Then make that a clipping layer. Oh, does that not clip onto that properly now? Oh, it doesn't work like that. Do bite. Hmm. Well, that's a shame. So it does if I do that. Okay. It's not exactly how the math is supposed to work, but sure. Save as Vest Design V2. Shoot. Now, do I have Vroid set up for you guys to actually see it? Probably not. What's the best way for me to actually capture Vroid? Apparently like that. This is primarily me testing out textures at the moment. So don't worry if things look scuffed. I needed a baseline to work with. Shoot. Oh, too far. Yeah. So now we go into here and we import our new vest design. Ooh, that does not work at all. Ah, that's why. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to lower that a bit. I didn't realize the vest bit does that much. How would I fix that? How does the neck texture actually work with that? There's some extra shadows on there. Ah, that's why. You guys can't even see what I'm doing because the window's not updating. Thank you, buddy. Remove. What about if I do it as a game capture? Will it actually capture that? Nope. Oh, there we go. Took it a second. Apparently, it counts as a game. Would have guessed. Do, do, do. Yep. All right, so let's see here. What am I going to need to do to fix that? So the transition here is definitely way too sharp. I'm going to need to pay attention to that curvature a lot more in order to make that work. What was that? What is that? And can I actually get the line layer just that way I can contour things properly? That would help a lot. Let's see. Load images layer. That's not what I'm looking for. I would like the line map because otherwise I'm gonna have to eyeball it, and I don't necessarily like that idea as much. Guess it is going to be a bit of a coat. But first bit we need to do will be to, let's see, need to fix this bit. Because unfortunately, this color variance is a bit too harsh. So I need to stop that from happening. Up. Wrong place. Alrighty. And then we'll need to alter the curvature of our grid to match that a little bit better. That part I'm not looking forward to. Duplicate just in case we break something. Then duplicate this as well, because it might be better to just do this. Transform, mesh transform. Ew, that's not good. It's going to take the entire thing. I don't want that. Okay, let's see here. So then if I don't want that, what I'll need to do is that. There we go. Then we just need to augment this to sit around all of this instead. Just to see what happens primarily, but also this stream will definitely be a lot less of me talking. Unfortunately, just because of the nature of art, it's a little awkward for me to come up with conversation topics due to the level of focus that I end up needing just to make sure nothing breaks too dramatically. I think this part is actually going to matter as much. And especially when we're going to have to get into some mesh altering just to make sure things work, it's going to be a little messy. Texture work is always frustrating. Something is misaligned or the colors don't work as expected. Yeah, that is always a little bit of an issue with texture manipulation because it can just get unnecessarily messy depending on what is going to be going on with your project. Don't have to worry about swearing in the songs, thankfully. That won't catch in the VOD. I almost need more up there, to be honest with you. Try and contour that to the shirt. Here, here. And this part is probably going to take us a little while anyways, just because filtering all of these textures onto it is not going to be easy. Yeah, I think that should be fine. So that's tied to that now. That's now tied to up here. This needs to be there. So now with these guys, this transitions too hard, so we need to make that softer. Need to make that a lot softer. I almost just need super low brush density, and then just being able to swath the edges up a bit to make it a little bit later as it goes up. Like that. Make that a little bit more gradual. Okay. So merge these back down together. Change opacity on this to make that fit on the model a bit better. There. The specified file or its management file is open. That's a new one. Oh. Save as, not save as PNG, you dork. There we go. Test design v2. All right, so what happens if we do this? Looks a bit better. The color is definitely a bit of an issue, though. But I guess the flow on that does at least work. It's mostly just the separation here. So I'm gonna have to add some shading to the bottom of the collar just to make sure that sticks out a bit from everything else. But I think, aside from the expansion here, which I might be able to fix. That's not bad, actually. And even at long range, it's going to be a little bit hard to notice anyways. Alright, yeah, that's fine. So let's see here. I need to make the bottom of the collar be a little bit darker, just to insinuate the fact that there is, in fact, a bottom of the collar. Here. Way too big. Up, up, up. Get rid of all of the nasty darkness from the top. And do this again on the very bottom. Again on the very bottom. And get rid of all the nasty darkness where we don't need it. Okay. Save, export. Little too harsh. Little too harsh. But does also indicate that I need to put it on the top of the shirt as well. Would that sync up with that line? I think so. So downplay that a little bit. And we just got to do the same to the shirt top, which I probably put on a separate layer just so that way I can keep it free from everything else. Go. And a little black. The intersection. Put that down a lot lower. And get rid of everything from other layers. I know how to use my art programs at least. At least I think I do. It's always good to try and convince yourself that you know what you're doing at the very least. I also might need to put a key command just that way I can actually flip the Vroid view or the CSP view on and off occasionally, just to make sure that fits a little better, and that way you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, I can actually go a little bit darker on the collar. It is working though. Doot. Doot. There you go. At least give some distinction on the collar, just so that way you can realize that there is a bit of baggage going on there. Something I should probably do for the inner vest is I should probably see about getting... The line will barely be visible, actually, now that I'm thinking on it. I don't even think I need to worry about that. Your new hair is going to be slicked back like that? No, no. Don't worry, it's not. I've done, like, no work with the hair layer yet. But welcome, welcome, Nano. Hopefully the evening's running well for you so far. I'm just working on getting some texture work done at the moment. But how are things on your side? I can actually flatten out most of this section a bit. That's kind of interesting. Cute. see, that covers all of it, so shoot. Yep. Edit, transform, mesh transform, kick it up a few notches. There we go. Everything goes slow, which is how I prefer. Well, slow is definitely not a bad thing, really. So good to hear things are at least going well. Slow is inherently never a bad thing to happen. There we go. Then this part comes up. I actually need a little bit more of an upwards momentum there. How do I get those guys to be straight? Should be fine. Good. Here, import. There we go. That looks a bit better. Just to make things a little bit more square. Although, whoops. What's going on here? Does that one get stretched, or that one gets squished supremely heavily? And I apologize, but remind me if you grabbed my time at Portia. Yeah, I did grab my time at Portia. Don't have it installed or tried it necessarily, but I do have it. So that square is fine, it's just that one that gets squished. That's inconsistent. Let's see here. So you two. All right, brain. Reading a texture map is definitely not my forte. This needs to be expanded. Shoot. Almost. Needs to be dragged out a lot more for this one square, but then the other one needs to be squished. Okay. That's easy. Okay. Then this one needs to be squished. Save. PNG. Texture maps are annoying. Never trust your senators. Or perhaps the freezer can play music. I tend to add a little bit of extra music-y vibes in here just because music does drive a lot of my life. So if you see various music themes, that's just simply because of the fact that if I don't have that, I probably would have gone crazy a very, very, very long time ago. There we go. A bit better. It's a little more obvious at least, so that's nice. Let's see here. So that cube is fine. The ones right above it get squished. Means that everything is going to have to come down, and then that's going to have to be stretched down. That's awkward. Texture maps, why are you a dingus? Cute. Now let's see here. So everything basically below this area needs to just be flat moved. Oops. Is the pattern going to show when you speak? No, I don't have the technology to make the pattern itself shift as I talk. That would require someone of a much greater talent to get to work. Cute. Maybe one day, though. That'd be neat. I did grab a little bit. Damn it. Do it here. And we'll just select this bit by bit. Here. Nope. A little higher. There we go. Yep. There. You'll get your upgrade someday. I'll get my upgrade when I'm able to kind of flex on Twitter that I've somehow gained 1 million followers and I'm able to drop like $10,000 on a model because this kind of escapade is going to take a lot of extra tools that I just don't know how to make work, unfortunately. But maybe one day I'll be able to figure it out. Just I don't know how it would work. Too far. 10,000 for a model. Oh, there was just like some news going around that someone had spent like $6,000 just getting their model put together. And that was like a 2D model. Sounds like a corporate level model. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what I mean, is that you kind of need to deal with the corporation level income to get a model that intricate because I don't fully know how to do that myself, unfortunately. Get out too much of alignment. Yep. Yeah, let's try that. Export. Would be interesting if I ever somehow make that much money off of streaming, though. I'd imagine doing income taxes as a VTuber of that size probably sucks a lot because you are just dealing with an independent business basically. Because I'm fairly certain that you can't just be like, oh hey, Twitch gives me this money, because they don't take really. Oh, I'm blind. Whoops. I needed to go one more level higher. Um, okay. Can I undo all of that? Up. All right, I'm technically an Amazon employee as an affiliate. Yeah. We all technically work for Amazon. Technically being the very, very operative wording. Where we get our money from Daddy Bezos, where he doesn't inherently like us as much, unless we're making him a lot of money. Oh, I need that too. Grab that. Grab that. Then I think... There we go. But that is kind of just more talking about the business side of all this. We do technically make money from Amazon, so we need to make sure that we're just keeping everything in check. But I'm fairly certain once you get to the levels of the corporate VTubers, Twitch is not your only income. So there's going to be a lot more of an operating expense and a lot more you're going to need to put into just filing your tax returns, which is not the best thing in the world, but that's kind of why accountants have jobs in the first place, is to help those who make a lot of money on how they can tell the government that they make a lot of money. I'm also realizing that I'm going to have to fix all of this. I should have gone top down for the fixes, which is a bit of a problem, but oh well. Oot. All right, so this section now needs to be stretched downwards. I would like that, please. Thank you. Because when you think about it, as soon as you start making your own merchandise, for example, you are just selling it as yourself. So any home fire starters that Solace may sell would be under the conglomeration of Solace LLC. Please don't sue our company for setting your kitchen on fire is our tagline, and probably what you have to tell all of your lawyers, considering that is how your business runs. But then you're going to have to worry more about a business's tax bracket with how much money you end up making, say, selling your fire starters. So that's going to make a fairly large difference in how you work on your operating revenue and making sure to track your expenses better. And it should be mildly obvious that I think too much about these things because that is what my degree is in, unfortunately. Um, only put up to 10. Okay. That should be fine. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, when you try and learn how the world works and the world itself tells you, fuck you, capitalism is how we're running this, you kind of need to bend your ideas a little bit just to learn how to break the world, because sometimes it's nice to learn how to exploit a broken system, which is why people kind of just kept telling me that I should get into computer science, considering that's my mindset towards most things, but what can you do but just try it out? Mm, here. That should be fine. Try that out. Save, export, here. Doot. Oh, I had the wrong screen up the entire time. Sorry. Admittedly, doing this kind of art, it does become a little bit frustrating trying to make it work. Really? Doing all that barely changed that size. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to stretch that out super far. Okay.
Goodbye.
Need a lurk for now, Nano? Alright, sounds good. Oh. Well, that's not good. I guess the default is my normal default, so that works. Apparently there's some camera turn animations based on the numpad inputs. It's a bit weird. Let's see here. This is going to have to stretch out farther, which is surprising. I almost want to just do... I can't use that selection now, but let's see here. Lasso friend. I need an estimation of your work ethics. There. Thankfully, I can see the slightly janky line on how I got everything together, so it's not that hard to get it going. Ouch. Also, this isn't going to be like the final coloration or anything either. I just wanted the base design in so that way I can alter colors when that becomes a bit more of a, well, I guess final piece to worry about. And I still have the VRAID window up. Brain. Ouch. The only problem with having lo-fi going is that it is definitely keeping my brain on low energy mode, but that's just low energy mode because I'm not used to doing art stuff on stream, so you get a little bit worried about doing that. Yep. I'm gonna have to stretch it fairly far, I'm thinking, so do that. And then we'll just go for the extreme and see where it takes us. And to go a little bit up here. There we go. Do there we go. Bit better. Oh, right, I'm gonna have to fix the angling as well, which is partly why I need the mesh. Here. And we just need to bring all of these down a healthy amount. We're gonna have to bump these up a bit anyways, so I don't necessarily mind clipping into that for now. Or actually, Mesh transforming is going to let me get the best of both worlds with this. Probably should add a bit more vertices in, though, just to make things a little bit easier. Okay. So, down, 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 down into a burning ring of fire. Gotta make sure to match the curve up, so this will be a little bit finicky while I just get this to work in here. This comes down. Can't even get those in. That's a shame. Should be fine. That part's not really going to be seen anyway. It's mostly here we need to worry about this. Here. A little bit here. Yeah. That need to go down. Yeah, that needs to go down. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Okay, so if we're going to over-exaggerate it then, how does that big of a cube section work for this? Here. Oh, too far. Import. That's kind of sad, but that's actually close enough. But then I need to go back and fix these three by extending this one, shrinking this one a little bit, and then shrinking that one a little bit. So, first order of business then. These two get to move down. This little bad boy gets his time in the sunshine. Gets to go down a lot. And then these two just need to be shrunk a little bit. Also the fact that I'm actually keeping this in mind this time, because the last time I kind of just threw a flat thing on there and was like, hey, I was in the wrong window again. Ugh, whatever. This is just the problem, and why I probably should just use a window capture for this, but that's actually not bad. Okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. Actually, should I do that? Window capture? I don't plan on looking at anything. Or it's not window, it's display, isn't it? Display. Nope. Hey there, Maxie. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully the evening is running alright for you so far. Yeah, we are just working on a little bit of model design at the moment, but how are things on your side? I can go away. Here. This is just to make my life easier because I keep screwing up what window I'm supposed to be in. Get behind all my overlay stuff, please and thanks. Oh, too far. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit easier. Alright, shape-wise, that should be fine. And you're not even going to see the collar most of the time anyways. Yeah, why don't we try making that a little bit more vibrant? If I make this a little bit more vibrant and then the coat a little bit darker. Oh, actually. Do this just to put them together again now that we've got the shape ready. Merge with layer below. Oh. Okay. Welcome, welcome, Kin and crew. Hopefully the evening's running well for you so far. I guess to everyone on Kin's side, since I'm not usually the one streaming, my name is Jude, your Judicial Utility Droid Mark III, here to provide you with a relatively comfy time while we're getting some stuff done. Currently, I'm just working on my Model 2.0 stuff at the moment. Just trying to get some form factor to work. But how did the rest of your stream go, Ken? You get a bit more Toto posting done? Art tax is required. Whoops, wrong keys. Art tax is required, by the way, so I hardly recommend that you get to posting that. While I just try and figure out what opacities I kind of want to have some of this stuff at. Here. I mean, if we're gonna harp on Toto for never paying their taxes, I'm not necessarily gonna get you any free real estate on that, Ken. Also, thank you very much for sealing yourself in the freezer for another month. Pleasure to have you walk in of your own volition. Currently at the moment, I'm just trying to get some basic form factor in, so don't mind this too much. Here. It's been a while since I've gone Robocop on anyone. That's technically true. I don't usually get many of the other art streamers on my side, since I don't usually stream it much myself either. Ooh. Oh, nice. Mine actually won. I think. Bop. Neat. You did a good job with that, Ken. And Mosquito Chain is looking quite lovely. I'm mildly concerned as to why Purr is sexily posing off in the distance. I'm assuming to try and win the heart of Mosquito Chan. I guess that is fairly normal for Purr, though. So can't fault it too much. I do kind of like the Shindoru Nani situation happening here, though. So hopefully you're able to survive another bout with Mosquito Chan, because I know that she can prove to be quite a bother on your side. Let's just get that out again. Usually speaking, there's a clip player, but I'm fairly certain you have clips turned off for the majority of your streaming career, so we don't got to worry about that too much. Shoot. Summer can only last so long. That is true. Mosquito Chan can only... mosquito chain can only bother us for so long. Wasn't sure 100% what I actually clicked there. Did I export that yet? Yes, I didn't. Okay. Shoot. There we go. Alright, so form factor wise, that's a little bit too obvious. Color of the jacket would be fine. I just gotta start texturing it a little bit. So this needs to go back down a little bit, unfortunately. And then once I can get to the actual texturing of the vest, we'll be good. Shoot. There. Import that. There we go. We don't need it super obvious because it's obviously going to be on like the current sizing that I'm on, but never hurts to actually just see how it looks beforehand. Alrighty, basic form factor of vest is what I mainly wanted to get done. Let's try and get the jacket done because that's going to take us a lot longer. I believe that's just the guide layer of it. So I need this one. Let's see. Vest, or not vest, jacket, template. Open. Let's see here. Why am I blind? There we go. Oh, I didn't actually leave the white half of it. Oh, I'm a dork. Okay, give me that too then. Jacket, lower half. Silly. Open. Is this? There we go. There's the proper template. Nope. That is way too hard. Still way too hard. Jesus. You are a finicky little one today. Okay. That works out relatively well. So how do we want to do this jacket then? Because that's always been the point that I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. Gotta go eat. Have a great stream. Alright, thanks for dropping by, Ken. Enjoy your food, and we'll talk with you later. Let's see. Probably should start with straightening out this, shouldn't we? Because that is just a little bit too messy. I wonder, actually, can I get the guide? Oops. Shoot. Guide. Shoot. This one can go away. There we go. Having the guide itself is just helpful. All right, so texturing wise, we're going to have to worry about scrunching stuff and designs around the collar once we get there. But for now, I think we just want to have the basic form factor. So why don't we get that working in our favor? Grab that. Then I'll make a solid line just down this way for now, because I've got a fuzzy line there, and that is not great. And thankfully there is an idea for what I want to do for this, so You won't have to worry about the obnoxious straight lines for too long. There. It's nice to have clean lines when you're working in Vroid because it can get a little bit messy when you're starting to screw around with transparency, which is why you need to be a little bit careful when you're working on stuff. But when doing basic form factor stuff, that tends to be the easy portion of getting it done. Lighting is definitely going to be a concern as well, but as long as you turn off Vroid's natural lighting, you're good. Ooch. Yep. Better. Now we sync up with this side. I can kind of play by eye anyways, so we'll just straighten out the jacket a little bit. This one's going to be open a little bit more on the right side, just because this side's going to have the zipper, and then this side is basically going to have like an extra flap on it that usually covers on the winter jacket itself. And I remember Callus Freya saying something like that, a third-party add-on is needed. Yeah. Unfortunately, the baked-in lighting for Vroid is like this very obnoxious, like red color. Overwrite. So I can show it, but it is definitely just awkward. There we go, the rim light. Yeah, you'll notice it does like weird stuff like that. Although I seem to have changed the color of it somehow, which is a little bit weird. Hey, Jen. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully the evening's running all right for you so far. This is going to end up being a little bit more of a jacket, but for the most part, yeah, sweater's not too far off. But how are things on your side, Jen? I haven't really been able to talk with you in a little while, because I think you've been a little bit busy, as it were. And I'm not sure if I can do Uwu speak quite as naturally as some other people. I think the deadpan voice makes it a little bit hard, if only because of the fact that we need to sound like a pretty little pussycat, trying to get their best impression. Also, the subs do not like it when I talk in puppy dog speak, which is a shame. Been busy, but I'm doing alright. Always good to hear. No, it can get a little bit frustrating when life gets a little bit too busy. Hopefully streams are going well. So far, they're going relatively well. Haven't had to worry about too much lately in terms of people attacking me or anything like that. I'm assuming because I'm a tin can and people can't physically kick me, so I'm usually fine. Can't believe we have a Juwood quip now. I mean, every so often people can get a ooh quip out of me, depending on how I'm feeling, but I'm not really sure how high my voice actually goes when I try doing that, to be honest with you. Because if I ever try to be a little baby, then what else am I to do but try to do my best? Someone quip the Juwood bits. Well, if you do quip the Juwood bits, then that'll end up showing to other people, so hopefully they don't mind that too much. Yep. It's in mighty British too. Yeah. I can turn on like the slightest bit of a British accent, if only because I have watched a little bit more in terms of British entertainment than American and or Canadian. Yep. over to there. So it's relatively easy to pull out a little bit of the British accent, depending on what you're trying to do. And if you fuck it up, then you can just say you're trying to be Australian, which is kind of the beauty of it all. There we go. Let's see here. Eraser, I want you to be good, but I don't want you to be that good. There we go. Alrighty, so first section we need to do is I need to add an asymmetrical flap off of this section. Means I need to do... Oops. Probably should just follow the initial curve with this, shouldn't I? And I can clean this up a little bit later. Also, I will say I am doing most of this section with mouse at the moment. Usually speaking, when it comes down to it, it's a little bit easier for me to just kind of do the raw physical shapes with the mouse, just so that way it doesn't take like a year to try and figure out where my mouse is and how the pressure sensitivity is going to end up working for me. Yep. Let's see, we're going to make this upper section actually a bit lighter because I want to add a pseudo camo print to the top half. Then I will need to follow roughly this pathway. And follow the underside of that. And then for this portion, you kind of just want a straight line across. So let's grab our line tool really quick. And how big can I make this? That actually works. Actually relatively close on the sketch too, so that's not too bad. Probably should make it a different color though. There we go. That should be obnoxious enough for me to actually realize where everything is, right? Oh.
Mergenity gifted a tier 1 sub to nanoconda_. They have given 13 gift subs in the channel.
Well, thank you very much, Jen, for forcing Nano to sit in the freezer for another month. I'm sure they'll enjoy the added emotes. And thank you very much for supporting the freezer. Because it's always nice when I'm not the only person actively shoving people in there. Flash frozen Nano. I mean, a flash frozen banana isn't inherently a bad thing at the end of the day. People do tend to like those a good bit. That go back up. Oh. Here. We gotta follow the bottom line on this bit. So I need to follow that line. Then I can freeform it from there. But I guess since we do have a few extra bodies in here at the moment, how is everybody's weekend going? And hopefully you're prepped for the Labor Day weekend. Because I know not necessarily everyone usually is, but it's always good to just kind of keep your ducks in line and try to see if you can be prepared for the madness when it comes down to setting everything up. Yeah. Then this can also follow the same line up. Up. Mm. Ash want to vibe this weekend? Honestly, Labor Day weekend is probably one of the better ones to vibe to. I can only wager. Alright, boys. I can only wager that it's a little bit easier to just kind of not worry about it this weekend because everyone and their grandmother is usually prepping for school anyways. So it's usually a bit easier to be like, okay, I've gotten all my stuff done. I'm just gonna sit down and we're just gonna relax. Can the world give this to me? Maybe. Will it? Depends on how lucky you are. Wedge Adger. Yep. My new D&D character. It kind of sounds like Wedge Adger would be a pretty good artificer, and they probably just manufacture like magical door wedges that when they are used to actually stop a door, they set off a fireball. Would you say that's a relatively good way of using Wedge Adger? You could do something simple like just setting off an alert, but honestly, if the door wedge itself can just set off the fireball, it saves you the trouble. And you don't have to have your wizard worry too much about it either. Would probably be helping with that, to be honest. I drew the short straw as the most junior staff morber, so I'm working Labor Day. Ugh. I'm sorry, Solace. I kind of half figured you'd be streaming Monday as well, to be honest with you. So, hopefully it's not going too bad that day for you. We'll be here for moral support. I probably won't be streaming, but I'll be around. So I'm going to end up multitasking that day anyways. Yep. Here. Do that here. Oh, I didn't actually have to select through all that. Alright. Maybe stretch the definition of door, like they make door wedges that they open, that can keep open portals or gateways. Yeah, that would work for D&D as well, actually. You kind of just have a magical artifact that someone has a teleportation circle, and as soon as someone activates it, you just kind of shove this nail into the teleportation circle, and it becomes a portal instead of just a one-time trip thing. I think that would work out relatively well. My day will include pizza one way or another. Pizza's definitely a good way of going about it. And what kind of pizza would you end up having, Solace? Because that is an important question. Doot. Doot. Hmm. Yep. Realizing I would have made this a lot easier on myself if I just did that line through there. Yep. Standby as pepperoni if I end up getting frozen, otherwise maybe meat lovers. Okay. That's not too bad then. Should keep you relatively well sustained while you're crunching out some numbers. I know I'm going to be like absent-mindedly doing a bit of work, but the work that I do is very much kind of drop it and forget it kind of work. So I can kind of get away with that. Up. Yep. Yeah, like I can't make portals themselves, but if the big bad evil guy tries to TP us out, Wedgehacker just eats a wedge at the portal. Well, definitely sounds like a good idea, Jen. Maybe see if you can get a bit of a homebrew situation going where your DM would actually allow that, because that would be funny, I'll be honest. There we go. That's a little shade line there. This is mostly just for referencing. Shoot. We grab a light gray. Then we do something like this. Get an apparently lighter gray for the zipper because we've already used... Oh, Jesus. Hey, the Jay-Z. Hopefully the evening's running well for you so far. People haven't used the high a lot lately. There's been a lot of the buy, though. But hopefully things have been running all right on your side so far. We're just working on some model stuff right now. Shoot. And what's a depressing thought? The fact that I'm also going to be sidily working on Monday, or not a lot of highs, but a lot of buys. Oh, oh yeah, that is a lot more depressing now that I think about it. Oh well, not much I can do about that. I try to entice people with the Kirby highs, but not everyone always goes for them. There we go. Get rid of that upper half. There we go. Evening isn't going too badly, though my body demanded sleep. Slept for 10 hours and only got up when someone woke me up. Kinda sounds like you had a relatively good sleep at the end of the day, then. How much can I cheat and just grab a... Probably shouldn't be showing that, just in case. Maybe I won't be lazy. Slept the morning away. I mean, not a bad thing. The sun's kind of a dick anyways, so you're not missing too much. Shoot. 4. I'm on the wrong layer. There we go. Bit better. Now let's see here. Can I do something silly? Because realistically, camo is just varying shades anyways. So if we grab big old white.
Mergenity gifted a tier 1 sub to Sir_Jude. They have given 14 gift subs in the
Now,
channel.
why are you giving a sub to Jude? Also, how are you giving a sub to Jude? Oh yeah, that would actually be showing on that side. Oh, that's silly. I kind of forgot about that for a second. Cute. That is weird having that in that window. Alrighty. You can go away. Decide which Jude is Judier. Well, I guess that depends on what your definition of Jude is at the end of the day, to be completely honest with you. The other Jude at least has, like, letters in his name. I sadly do not. Or has, like, all letters in his name. I had to skimp one of them on the off chance that someone tried to ask me who I was.
Solace55 gifted a tier 1 sub to Leah D. Nilo.
Yeah, that one's going to be awkward. But thank you very much, Solace, for throwing Leah in the freezer for another month. And for the gift sub. And then, obviously, the sarcasm aside, thank you, Jen, for shoving Sir Jude in the freezer for another month. I'm sure he'll very much enjoy the extra cold. Voice reader's a tad quiet. Can I fix that? I don't know if I can, actually. Not from this side. Oh well. It's in the chat, and it's mostly just so that way I can hear it, so that's fine. This can also kind of be rounded out a little bit. All right, so there's our like basic setup for this. Oh, and there's one to Mousy too.
Mergenity gifted a tier 1 sub to Mousy Fun.
Sadly, it won't
They
be a
have given
hype
15
train,
gift subs in the
sadly.
channel.
The way that hype trains usually work is that it does require 3 separate people to give stuff. So that way one person can't just like chuck 50 subs at someone and start a hype train. Although one person chucking 50 subs at least makes sure that a hype train at least hits level 5 relatively quickly. But thank you very much, Jen, for also gifting a sub over to Mousy. I'm assuming that they would be asleep at the moment, but we're never 100% sure. And welcome, welcome, Pause. Hopefully the evening's going well for you, and welcome to the cabin. Hopefully the evening has run well and you don't have to worry about too much. Just so you know, my name is Jude. I know that the numbering can be a little bit awkward, but I just need to make sure I kind of poke myself as a robot in terms of most of the community. I'm usually a gamer, but I wanted to work on a little bit of art today, so we're kind of just getting some stuff done there.
An anonymous user
Now there's
gifted
the
a tier 1
workaround.
sub to Postgroms.
Thank you, Mr. Mysterious, or thank you, Mysterious Ghost, for gifting a sub over to Pause. Yeah, we're both in Kin's Discords and Jason's. Yeah. I can give you a small hint, Pause. I picked the name Jude for a reason, and no one seems to figure it out off first try. I can get around with my secrets, though. But hopefully you enjoy your emotes. Just to give a general idea about how this is going to look, by the way, I should also make sure I'm cleaning up the sleeves and such. Jude lore? Jude lore is simply that Jude is lazy, and people don't ever seem to realize that Jude is lazy. Big fan of Jude Law and Sherlock Holmes. I don't think I've watched Sherlock Holmes a ton, so I don't know the name off the top of my head. But if Jude Law is cool, then I'm certainly going to take the extra compliment off that. Doot. Doot. Definitely a lot of TV I still need to actually catch up on, though. There we go. God, why is that one so transparent? Jude Law plays Watson in the Robert Downey Jr. ones. At least I'm assuming that's Robert Downey Jr. I'll take a peek then. I'm always supremely bad with actor names. There's the right button. Shoot. Get all of these together. Up. Robert Dobert Jobert. Oh, I could imagine someone naming their character Jobert. Maybe not as a last name, but considering we've got things like Dilbert, I could imagine there being like a parody version called Jobert, where he's still that deadpan, snarky character, but he just goes through various styles of jobs instead of just being an office worker. That'd be interesting. And the Robert Downey Jr. ones are good? Okay. Well, I'll have to take a peek then when I get the opportunity. Oh, that one. And jobber is already a wrestling term, so I can see Jobbert being a wrestler's name. Don't suppose you could remind me, Jay-Z, but what does a jobber do in terms of wrestling again? Because obviously a heel is the bad guy, but a jobber to me sounds like just a side character who just is there to fill the role, to push along someone else's main story. They chop you in the mouth. Oh, that sounds wrong on way too many levels. Newt. Here. But you're allowed to make lewd commentary on the channel here. I don't really mind it that much. I think the only thing that would get me to be a little bit uncomfortable... Actually, is there a not safe for work talk of it that makes me uncomfortable that isn't already just illegal to talk about on Twitch? I don't know, actually. I have to take a look at that. You aren't far off. Jobbers are the ones that mostly only go into matches to lose, usually early in their career. Okay. Yeah, it definitely sounds like I'm not that far off then, which honestly makes me a little bit sad because I'd kind of want someone like a jobber to have a bit of a better start. But I guess when you're starting your career, you do need to just start your career somewhere. You can't just instantly be like the newest Undertaker or someone like that. You need to earn your stripes a little bit. Dude. Plus, earlier in your career, you are just trying to help out the organization, so I guess you're not losing out on too much. Dude. Ah, nice. Level 1 hype train done. Thank you very much for the support, all, and hopefully you enjoy your emotes. Looks like I've got all of level 1s on this account. Neat. And I think that's part of their training and stuff. The Miz was a jobber for a while in his career. Okay. Well, you all need to start somewhere in a business, so when you're in the wrestling business, you do kind of need to get your shit kicked in a little bit. Otherwise, you're not going to have a showing face, as well as the fact that I'd imagine in wrestling, depending on how well your setups are or your gimmicks, depending on the terminology that's used nowadays, you kind of need to just make it work. And if one setup does not work, you need to rebrand and work it into another thing. Like most forms of professional showings. Like even The Undertaker started out as Mean Mark. Exactly. The fact that The Undertaker just started out as this very tall, very angry looking, almost like redneck character, I think is Red Mark. Because the main thing for him was just he was big and he was mean. That is how the Red Mark worked. Or that's how Mean Mark worked. Mainly because he's like, God, how tall is The Undertaker again? He's something like ridiculous, like 6'3" or something. Because he was unnaturally tall during his opening match. They may have just picked a shorter competitor for his opening match, I'm not gonna lie. But fairly certain that he just got a shorter wrestler to just emphasize how large he was. Or at least his opening match as Undertaker, rather. 6'10", that's it. Undertaker is just a giant. He was the dead man, and we all very much appreciate his contributions to the wrestling community. And according to Steve Austin, The Rock was shit on a lot of when he started out. Rocky Ty was shuttered a lot. Oh no. I don't know as much about the history of The Rock, mainly because the things that I ended up watching were not necessarily like full showings of everything. I just got kind of clip shows of wrestling, which is why I always just tangentially liked it. And then recently, once the Super Eye Patch video kind of started popping off about all the wrestling stuff that's been going on, kind of sits in the back of your head, and it's like, I used to watch that stuff. I used to have fun just watching people kick their teeth in, legally. Oop. There we go. Haven't seen that one? I can grab the video a little bit later, just while I'm not capturing the window. Just on the off chance I accidentally show, like, something about myself I don't want to show on stream. But he had, like, I think it's close to a 2-hour video just going over the Undertaker's exploits. Actually, there is an easier way I can do this, isn't there? Put it over here. Jude's Ludes. Not quite, no. I just don't want to show, like, my name or anything like that. Because that would be a little bit of a problem. Undertaker. Oh. Should be, like, one of the... It's not the one of the top videos. There's clip shows of The Undertaker. Okay, I guess I gotta specify. Eye patch. Your name isn't Jude Cryobite? Not professionally, at the very least. I do try and keep my proper name of Judington Esquire the Fourth under wraps, but unfortunately I can't really try and divulge those secrets to the general audience. Otherwise they might think less of me for being a noble with high status. There we go. In the Discord. I'm also realizing I showed the Discord, but that's fine. By the way, to anyone who's not there, I have a Discord if you want to ever talk to me outside of the streams. Let's see here. How far do I need to go with this? Oh, I'm on the eraser. That's why. I bet Jude isn't even Canadian. He's probably a high elf. Oh, you've caught me. I've been living in Banriel? Crap. What's the name? I guess Eberron is a place. I've been living in Eberron as a high elf noble, trying to make sure that those dirty, nasty dwarves were just doing all of my work for me. That way I didn't have to worry about trying to do anything myself as a proper high elf noble. Let's see. To about... Too far? And about here-ish? There we go. And then a noble doing streams and art isn't the worst thing, better than a lot of nobles do. Well, a lot of nobles do technically care about art, but they do usually have other people doing it, to be honest. Ooch. There you go. Now I'm picturing a Saudi prince mood lighting as a VTuber. There probably is one somewhere, to be completely honest with you. Because at the end of the day, all VTubing is just putting yourself on the internet and not necessarily telling people who you are. Yep. And just line that up. Oh, that's not exact, is it? No, I gotta flip it. Not flip canvas. There we go. Okay. And then bump it up a little bit. There we go. Thank you, Jenny, for the gift sub. Hello again, Nano. Hopefully the evening's been running well, and hopefully either your food or your work has been going all right. Can never be 100% certain what you're up to in that dangerous little snake cave of yours. Alright, so let's just visually try that. Oh, I haven't actually saved this yet as anything. Shoot. Export PNG. Yep. You're in my wall? Now, why would you be in my walls, Nano? That's almost dangerous. I keep it extremely cold in here, and that's not very good for most banana snakes like yourself. Outfit. Let's see. Edit texture? This import. Okay. Just about works, actually. I could probably downplay where... Ah, hello. There's a problem. I didn't even notice that at first. Huh. The outfit looks nice. You're making this for the winter? No. This is going to end up being the just newest model in general. I needed to do a 2.0 version because I've been a little bit behind on getting a model to work more with like the cabin theming of everything. So I'm making sure to put together a winter jacket and such. That's a problem though. How do I fix that? This isn't going to be a texture thing. This is going to be a form fit thing. Overwrite. Give that a second. Alright, so how do we fix that? Actually, that is in the textures editing thing. What am I talking about? I guess it's technically here too. I just gotta find the shirt half. Shirt crease. Yeah, that needs to be taken in a lot. Don't need that. Not that. Not that. Let's see. And you know about the VTuber takeover thing? I do know about the VTuber takeover thing. Yeah, it's kind of just a shit show in all honesty, because they didn't really handle it very well from what I've heard. A lot of the VTubers who actually signed up for it ended up not actually getting featured like at all, which is a bit of a problem. The takeover? Yeah. There was an event for the VTubing audience that Twitch was trying to sell to everybody, where it was... I'm gonna have to fix that. Where they were trying to sell VTubers as like a conglomerated audience of people who were streaming, and they were going to guarantee them some more front page news and stuff like that. But all they ended up doing was hosting like a Fall Guys tournament together, and like the popular VTubers took the front page, which is about normal. So they just had like a dedicated box for it. Was a little bit of an understatement, to be honest with you, but I could actually shrink that in a little bit. I could actually shrink that in a lot. Also realizing I've got the guide saved on top of it still. I am smart. Try that again, Jude. Jude. Yeah, I've heard it wasn't the greatest of successes, so we'll have to see how they actually do in the future with this. This, edit texture. So you just pay for feature, basically, yeah. It wasn't anything like super major or anything like that, so I don't gotta worry about it because I'm a small-time creator. I'm not there yet. Maybe like far, far into the future, I'll end up getting there, but not yet. Let's see here. These can honestly be moved in a bit, and I can probably move that line to basically connect with the collar a bit better. There we go. Twitch doing anything complimentary challenge. When does Twitch ever do anything complimentary? And we're not even sure if people will see you since some other normal streamers use the tag VTuber to boost views. Yeah, that is a bit of a problem too, sadly. Normal people are just using, you mean popular VTuber XQC? Oh, fuck XQC. I barely even know the guy, but I've heard a lot that he's just constantly sitting at the top of queues for a lot. Welcome, welcome, Ronta. Hopefully the evening's running well for you so far. And welcome, welcome, Nikki. Hopefully you're also having a fantastic evening so far. We're just doing some basic art shenaniganry at the moment, but hopefully things are running well for you. Put that back on just so I can see it. So that section probably links up to there more so. So I'm gonna need to do... I need a selection tool. There. Lasso. Do that roughly. And then we can... that with a couple more... Whoops, don't need the horizontal. I need the vertical here. I'm alright, rest my voice, and publish the novel on itch. Itch. Oh, right, itch.io. Okay. Well, congrats on being able to drop your novel. I know it's not always the easiest thing to get out there, but I'm sure folks will enjoy it. I'm gonna get that line a little closer in terms of form factor.
Mergenity gifted a tier 1 sub to Nikki Resol. They have given 16 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you very much for the extra love, Jen. And enjoy your sleep. You very much deserve it. And thank you for the love tonight. Hopefully you're able to not have to worry too much about any of your future work, because I know that with the fall approaching, it can get a little bit messy. That going over here. And Nikki, hopefully you enjoy being shoved in the freezer, and you enjoy the emote selection that you now have available to you. There. Get that in a little bit. We can kind of justify opening the shirt. Just so that way we can show a little bit more on the rest of the shirt that we put together. I do like the cold. Can I smoke in here? I'm gonna have to say no, if only because there's still some living meat in here that may not appreciate it as much. Vaping is fine, though. Let's see. Would that sync it up enough? I'm also going to have to update that wiggly, now that I'm realizing it. Because it won't match the current outfit that I'm going to have. That's fine, though. Wiggly deserves a little bit of prime time every now and again. Let's see. That's fine. I'll do it in the ice cream truck. Yeah, that's fine. The ice cream truck doesn't need it as much since most of the ice cream is at least being kept safe. So, that's good. Also, I guess for a lo-fi station, it's not super uncommon to get rap in here, but don't always expect it as much. Alright, how well does that sync up? Export, PNG, that. Also, you'll have to excuse the slight lack of chatter on this one. Admittedly, I am focusing a little bit on... That looks like it changed nothing. You good there, dude? I definitely changed stuff. Oh, I didn't finish exporting it, that's why. That explains a lot. That's a bit better. I think what I'll do for that then is I'll extend the left collar out just so that way it matches up to there. Which, considering it's only one line, it's not too bad. How far do I need to go? About halfway into it. Okay. That's fine. Guide. About... Oh. Whoops. There we go. About halfway in. Yep. Just get that going up. Also, I guess to partially explain what I'm doing right now, I am kind of just starting work on my 2.0 model, which is going to take me a while to actually get together, but I figured tonight we'd at least be able to kind of shoot the shit a little bit while I get some basic form factor stuff together. Because it's nice just having a little bit of English. Some relaxing music while we're getting some basic stuff done. There we go. Now on that side, how do I want to treat that? Also, how do I want to treat that? Hold up. Ah, that's why. That merged down. And do that. Let's fix that nice and quickly. Don't need any excess lines while we're doing form factor stuff. There we go. Alright, so now that side is locked up with there. What would we want to do for that, aside from that? Because it'll have the flap. Would I want to extend the zipper up into the collar of the jacket? That probably wouldn't be a bad idea now to think about it, to be honest with you. Sure, let's try and continue that line up then. Where would I need to put the line on the collar there so that way it actually syncs up here? Right there? Okay. Guide. So we need that line, and then 4 pixel right here. Okay. Doot, doot. this, import, shit, right, guide layer. Doot. Save. Import. Close, but you got that little edge there, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Why are you doing that? That's why. Okay. I'll need to bring it over a little bit there. Not super far, though. The mesh does get a little bit messy here, which is a shame, but that's when the transparency will end up helping, so I don't mind too much. Huh. Is the program crashing by chance? No? Okay, I'm just not doing enough. A little bit of an insert there, and then a little bit of a cut here. Yeah, we're gonna have to match up the actual texturing there. Okay, that's fine. That'll give us a nice little flap on top of the jacket, which this part is also gonna have to be fixed. So, Guide Chan. Guide Chan does not actually line up with what's in the program, I'm realizing. Never mind, it is. I'm looking at the wrong section. So where is here exactly? Right there. Because I'll need to get that going straight up, which means I'm going to have to bend this up and around here to make that work. Okay. So cut there, cut here-ish. And then we'll do something like this, which will cut up and around a little bit. How will that look? This is the nonsense that goes into designing these, by the way, for those of you who have not actually had to worry about your Vroids design or anything like that. So hopefully you enjoy the madness of insanity, basically, because you're doing the same thing over and over and over again to make things work. No, okay, I need this section to go up and then meet up to there. So this is going to have to come a little further down. And the cut itself is going to have to go here. Yep. Export PNG. Go. Here. Import. Form factor wise, that'll work. Just gotta fix that. What are we missing? Too much? Okay. That'll work. So, obvious point, this needs to go away. Then this needs to be picked up a little bit. Not by a ton, but here. Shoot. Here. I guess this is kind of just what happens when you're doing various texture mapping in other programs as well, to be completely honest with you. So it's nothing new on Vroid's front. But it is something you're going to have to keep in mind. What the hell is that line? Oh, that's probably a cut in here for when I was moving stuff, isn't it? Yeah, okay. I'll fix that. Here. Whoosh. And then I'll need to... the outfit does look comfy. Well, that's what I'm going for at the very least, so I'm glad I'm at least succeeding on that. Colors will be subject to change a little bit. This is primarily so that way I can just see what I'm doing. There we go. Also, good note, this program does not like outward transparency at all. So if you want a faded outfit, you're going to not have to do it directly in this program. That's when you have to kind of slip into Unity to be like, oh, hey, do you mind if I make my character a little bit more scandalous? Save. Shoot. Import. Jacket. Go. There we go. Those problems are solved. Then I'll just have to fix that edge, which, considering this is basic form factor, isn't a huge concern right now, but... Shoot. These are just fuzzy lines. This program does not like fuzzy lines. Like it's never heard of a bear club before. Alright, that should be fine. Let's just do the same over here, just that way you don't have to worry about the transparency of the flap while we're doing our form factor stuff, because that'll bug the hell out of me. Yep. I do not want to export that as GIF, thank you very much. Or TIFF, rather. If I wanted to give things to Tiffany, it would certainly not be through Clip Studio. Import. There we go. Alright, so form factor wise, that seems good so far. I think for the zipper side, it might make more sense to just have like the zipper here instead of in the collar. The collar itself here might have like a Velcro on the inner part of it, but I do need to make them line up a little bit better. So I'll probably stick... Oh, I need to stand up. I'm sitting for too long. I'll probably stick the zipper... Like, I'll match this gray edge to this line, but that's about it. And then the zipper can kind of just hang off, and the flap can cover over top and have, like, buttons in the top of the collar, like I do with my current jacket, which you can't see because my model's bent over. Like I'm trying to look at termites running up my feet. Oh. There we go. Yeah, you can kind of see buttons just on the... That's the wrong one. That one. You can see the buttons just on the collar of this coat, at the very least. I'll probably do something similar there, where... Music headphone fell out. Do something similar, where we'll have buttons, tops, like here and here. Actually want to edit the texture. Thank you. So we'll probably stick, maybe not blue or cyan, but oh, way too big. Do something like that. And then we'll probably have like, I guess this section would actually be the silver side where the buttons would click into, kind of thing. You know how they have those fasteners that just have the solid button tops and you just kind of clip them together? That's kind of what this would turn out to be. And that way you just clip the top, and then that way if you want to open up the collar, you can just kind of clip them off and just fold it down for like if you need to eat something and not get completely messed up. I think that'll work out okay. I just need to make sure that form fit wise they don't get completely screwed up like these currently are. But first things first, we want to move that zipper side over, which I might just be able to physically shift it over instead of warping it over. Just that way we're not screwing around too much with that. Let's do this. Let's see. I'm going to have to do this mostly by eye, but is there going to be a link between these two that I can just suss out from here? I'm suddenly picturing Giratina now. I mean, Giratina is a very good little demon dragon, so that's not necessarily a bad thing with how it eats. I think Giratina eating is probably one of the cuter things in all honesty. So it'll need to come up about halfway through this guide. Alright, we'll have to play that by eye. Let's see here. So about here? Then up a little. Okay. There we go. Easy fix. And the zipper is even easier because I put that on a separate layer for a reason. Because I had a feeling I'd have to screw with something to make this work. Alright, let's test that then. How lined up am I with the collar? And am I able to just kind of eyeball the texture maps right? Oop. I think one of these days I'll have to draw Giratina as well, to be completely honest with you. Because it is an interesting design that they went with for Giratina. And while he does get a good amount of spotlight, actually go a little bit more. How much more can I go? The asymmetry on this is going to be wild. But let's see. We're about, needs to be on the other half, so probably about here, I want to say. Oh yeah, I can just eyeball it this way, can't I? It's actually where the edge of the black line is right now. Okay, that's fine. So I just need to shift it to this line, specifically with, I believe, this edge. Shoot. Let's just do that again. Grab all this. That is the most jagged we can make that line, but that's fine. All right. So move that over to here, move it up a couple pegs. Damage there is mostly fine. And then damage down here shouldn't be the worst. Yeah, okay. Alright, so let's fix these real quick just to be safe. Get rid of that transparency line because that's just gross. Fix the connecting joint with the top half of the jacket. You also need to fix some transparency up here, which I found a little bit odd, but not really sure where that one's coming from. Shoot. There we go. Also, probably should check, but how loud is the music for folks? Can you hear that okay? Or is it a little bit too quiet? Oh, okay. Thank you, radio. Music volume's good? Okay. I will take your word for it then. Nope. There. 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 Import. That looks good, actually. I guess I just need to fix whatever that is. Is there a transparency bit there? The hell happened here? Let go. You devised against it. I mean, I'm allowed to trust. Need a better headphone setup so that way I can hear this. I can trust Qt with my music volume, I'm assuming. You guys can hear the stream probably a little bit better than I can. Here. I really need to work on the self-depy. Yeah. You don't work on the self-depy, then Lemma's gonna get to a little bit of a shouting match with you, so you're gonna need to be a little bit careful there. I understand it. I'm usually pretty bad about it myself, but want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, alright, Busy? We're all here for you in your wrestling adventures. Here. Jacket template. So did I fix that problem or did I make it worse? Didn't do anything. Interesting. That happens there. The white issue is tied to that, but where is that white coming from? Because I'm not seeing any white there. What if I do that? Just cover it with zipper. Toot, toot, toot. Let's see here, import. Technically, although I don't know why. Alright, that's fine. Alright, let's try and fix this bit. Because adding the curvature did help a little bit in terms of getting it there, but I kind of want it to line up better with this edge a little bit. I just kind of get it up from there. Let's see where this bit of the shirt aligns. Oh wow, that's really high up. Okay. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, fourth line, roughly. I'm going to have to bring that in a lot. Okay. Guide. Go back to this layer for now. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to come in from these ropes and come down about here. Then try and follow this similar curve up. So about here, here, and here. That might be a little bit too much, but I'm going to test that out. Let's see here. Welcome, welcome, Hickory. Hopefully the evening's running well for you. And welcome to the cabin. Hopefully things have been treating you all right, and I'm assuming you're a lurker from the kin raid from earlier. So hopefully you are having a good night, and the chill vibes haven't just immediately put you to sleep, because I know that does kind of happen from time to time. I guess the lo-fi may not necessarily help my case, mind you. Kin's music is a little bit more upbeat. Oh, just get rid of that. Two. There we go. Let's just try that first before we replicate it on the other side. Because there's no point in doing that twice. Cute. Mm. Import. Okay, it can go a little bit more from the back's perspective. What about the front? Admittedly, the front can actually go a little bit... Ah, did I cut that up too high? I did cut it up a little bit too high. Okay. So, these lines are different. Good to know. Oops. 10 time. Hmm. Oot. Rid of the guide layer, you dork. Mm. That's a little better. And I could honestly bring up this. Well, get it's in a place where you can actually see my mouse. Bring up this a little bit and just kind of flatten it out maybe. Just so that way it acts as like an upper shoulder section or upper shoulder guard kind of to the jacket. usually speaking, when I do see those on winter coats, they're usually kind of leathery, I want to say. Would be a good way to visually show this, though. They're more leathery usually, but this is going to end up being more of a textile situation, so we won't have to worry about that as much. Oops. Yep. Now let's try replicating that here. Oops. Up. And we do the same thing. Sure. Okay. About covered all of it, but not quite. Okay, let's try that. Import. There we go. That's looking a little better. Let's see, form-wise, I do kind of want to try and screw with the sizing a bit. I almost want this edge to be straighter. That's not something I can do on the texture end, though. How would I do that? Won't be sleeve stuff. We'll worry about sleeve stuff a little later. Not that. Nope. Not waist narrowness. Not gonna screw that just because I can't see it right now. Oh, hello. You might be the answer. Negative 100? Oh, I can't put a negative in right now. That works for what I want, technically. Maybe a little bit too far, because I'll have to fix the other one as well. Okay, yeah, that works. Now I just need to fix this one to make sure that this doesn't poke out too hard. I just gotta remember what does that. Almost. And excuse the multiple colors for now. I'll fix that just once I get the right numbers in for this. Thinking about the point of diminishing returns now. That's breaking everywhere else underneath the coat, but that should be fine. We mainly just worry about this initial section here, which I think is covered well. Alright, now let's fix my actual colors, because I look like a monstrosity right now. So that. There we go. And I now have 10k points banked up for when I have that ref sheet finished. Sounds good, Jay-Z. I'll be awaiting your attempts to want to turn into a robot. That white thing is on there as well. What are you catching that's causing those white splotches? Oh, that's what you're catching. There's some more transparency garbage that's underneath all of this, isn't there? Yeah, it's catching this for some reason. Go away. That's what's causing all of my problems. Ugh. Not even anything that I did for once. Alright. So that form factor seems to work relatively well in terms of the sleeve. Let's just replicate that on the other side as well, which will be this. Here. Roughly like that. Here. Here. It's gonna be a bitch to detail all of this, by the way. Just saying that now. It's partly why I'm not going to be able to finish this year. It's actually too far up. That's awkward. Thankfully, that's on a different layer still. Save. Export. Here. Import. A little more. Save. I'd almost be half tempted to pull up a smooth jazz playlist with how the lo-fi's been kicking it lately. Import. A smidge more. Like 5 more pixels. Doot. There. Port. There we go. Yeah, that gives us the vest, the very basics of the jacket. I guess I should probably do something to the shoes as well. Just because having the blinged up kicks, I guess as the kids would say, is not necessarily what we want to do, but form factor on the shoes isn't really a concern right now, not as much. So that all works so far. Let's add those clasps in before I forget. They'll probably not be blue this time. Might honestly just make them a darker color for the clasps. Probably gonna have to make this a little bit oblong for this area so it links up properly. And less oblong, but still here. Because if this is going to end up being a camo situation, I'm going to need to get away with some extra little bits just to make it readily apparent as to what it's going to be. Should be here-ish. Yep. How are we looking on class form factor? Too stretched. Okay, that needs to be a lot less oblong. Bottom ones are fine. Top ones are definitely a little bit too stretched out. Like someone took some Skittles and just kind of slapped them on there. So that 1 pixel brush. Let's try and slim that down a little bit. Cute. Same thing with you, friend. That should work. Try that again. Okay, yeah, that's a bit better. Although that one's looking incredibly square for some reason. Why is that? Because I made it square and it imports as fuzzy. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Here. That's actually too far, interestingly enough. Unfortunately, the blurriness as to which it imports all of these images, even though they give you a crisp export of it in the first place, it's a little bit awkward trying to shape everything just to make it work properly. Yeah, that works. A little bit of edge on the bottom. Ooch. Here and here. It also kind of needs to be over here. Oot. Save. And import. Alright. From a distance, that looks a bit better. Now with the bottom one, I guess I should probably fix the misshapen egg that I've left there, and then just kind of clean up that bottom one as well. Let's see here. Let's try and copy the top edge a little bit. Then here, there. It's honestly pretty close anyways. You mostly just need to clean you up a little bit, but there and there. That should work. Mostly because we'd want the clasps to just stick on top of it anyways. So doing it that way, we'll have our caps bigger than our little clasp areas, and it'll make it a little bit easier to read. import that. There we go. Alright, so we've got edge of the coat flap. We've got edge of the zipper sewing that ends up happening. We still have a white fade, I'm noticing, for some reason. Even... oh, now it's hidden. Please tell me space is not the button. I am. Okay. I don't want that, though. There we go. Turn off. Okay. Not dealing with that stupid white border. And honestly, just get rid of that part for now. You don't really need that. Renaming that, actually. Rename it to keep off. Okay. Alright, so form factors so far we're doing okay. We've got a bit of a sweeping opening with the jacket, we've got a zipper in, we've got the lines in for everything. Boy. There we go. We've got the clasps on the collar, we've got the collar shaped properly. We've got the beginnings of our bottom vest, which flows relatively okay now. I'll have to work on a white camo for all of this bit. Why don't we try getting the collars, or the cuffs lined out, actually? That might be a good thing to do. Oh, wrong thing. How much does that cover? That covers about 3 lines worth. That'd probably be thick enough for a cuff. Alright, let's see here. So, merge below. With this section, we would probably just want this to be darker than the base material. And considering it's straight, we shouldn't have problems, but I know that we've had issues in the past. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Import. Okay. Yeah, conceptually that works. Still somehow doesn't line up, but I'm assuming it wasn't 100% straight line. No? Okay. General idea's there. But we'll have cuffs to the jacket just kind of sitting there. That'll be for... I'm not sure if people have it on winter coats in America, just because I'm not sure how cold it gets in, like, the majority of that southern bit of this continent. But on winter jackets, usually you do have cuff tighteners on them. Sometimes it's an elastic band. Sometimes there's a little Velcro strap that you have. They can kind of just tighten up to clamp around your wrists and your gloves. That's basically what I'll be doing with the cuffs on here, just so that way they kind of stick out a little bit from everything else. Why is Sal tagging me in something? I'll check that later, Sal. I'm streaming. Also, I left the guide layers on. Rip. Export PNG. Import. There we go. Oh, the back end is actually a little bit too high on the sleeve there. I should fix that. Smaller brush. That end actually needs to come up quite a bit more, huh? On the right one. Okie doke. So there, 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 and there. Ish. We'll try that. Just kind of guess and check until we get that right. Worked. Actually need to go up a lot more. A little bit more. Okay. So we need to go up to the next line, basically. Oops. Need to go all the way up there. Holy crap. Okay. This section wants to curve, then this section will curve. Yep. Good. There we go. Port. Oh wow. It really has to go up that high to match up to there. That's a little ridiculous. Okay. Need to go even higher. Means this is also going to have to curve and turn. Good. Up. I guess it kind of makes sense. I almost feel like that needs to be taken in a lot harder too. So let's do that a little bit. There we go. Bit of a sweeping entrance, but that's fine. No. Gotta stop exporting Tiffany. She's not gonna return our calls anymore. There, there. Port. There we go. A little bit less noticeable. I only need to take it in a little bit more, so that we can probably just play like so. No. Oh, I've been sitting in shrimp posing. Hey there, Sako. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully the evening's treating you alright so far. And hopefully your wallet's doing okay with all of the commissioning you're doing at the very least. Yeah. But how are things on your side, Sako? Hopefully going well. I'm just working on my next model at the moment. I do actually need to bring that in a little bit. Probably about there. Yeah, that line. Okay. Mainly because I do not necessarily have the funding myself to afford someone else to do this, so I'm just gonna do it myself. There we go. I'm sorry I missed what you said, what you asked me. Oh, I was just wondering how your night was going so far, to be honest with you. Just to see if our little calculator cat was in any trouble or distress and needed a place to just kind of chill for a bit. Oops. There we go. This edge to now line up with that. Up. Doing alright, and how about you? Wait, you call me a cat? I mean, aren't you a cat? You've got the tail, and you've got the ears, and Jason's the maid, so you have to be the cat. And I have a feeling the scene is going to turn into Sako within the freezer with a iron club. Or the higher iron. That's the right weapon choice. Import. There we go. Not 100% even, but it's close enough. Alright. So form factor, we're doing alright so far. Dead. That's fine, Sako. You'll be able to define your species eventually. Looking good? Thank you. I think so far we're doing alright. I know this is just going to take me a while because I'm going to have to fix the texturing on like everything as well as doing the hair because I'm a little bit too lazy to just once VRoid actually listens to me though. There we go. Just go into this menu and be like, oh hey, I have hair now. That'd be way too easy. And I'm pretty sure most of these hairstyles don't actually work with how I've set up this body anyways. They really don't. They don't really give you ponytail options on most of the default hairstyles. Because, like, realistically, this is close to what I would want, but I need to change a lot, including this obnoxious ring light that they have on their hair texture, because it doesn't work very well, by my opinion, and I would want to change that, admittedly. Oh, that really gets rid of the scalp as well. Let's just set that back on here for now. There we go. Just so that way I'm not completely bald and all of my lines are still in my face. Let's see here. We're mostly trying to do outfit planning right now. I don't want to do the jacket. Oops. Leave a little line there. Yep. Because we're mostly just trying to get basic form factoring for now, because the amount of detail that's going to have to go into this just to make it work is going to take me a while, unfortunately. But this will at least help give people a rough idea about what I'm planning. Here. Import. How's the blue look? Yeah, that kind of helps differentiate it a little bit. I could probably go a little bit less saturated though. About there. Boom, 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 boom. And then hopefully by some point next year, I'll be able to finish this up. Because that'll go a little bit better with the current cabin theming than just what my current outfit is. There we go. That's around what I want. Just have a little bit of extra blue in there to separate it from the black of the hoodie. This will end up being a camo-ish print with the lighter half of things. Those pants are going to be gray. Let's try and make those a bit brighter. Pants, not pantsu. Where's pants? Let's see. Texture. Nope. I'm actually going to have to screw that a little bit harder than that. Could give myself blaringly red pants if we wanted. No, I need to make that brighter than the black. Oh, there's admittedly an easier way of doing this. Export. Open. Pants. Do. Edit. Tonal correction. Hue saturation. Something roughly like that. Import. Hence. Just to get something a little bit brighter, just to separate it from the darkness up here. Also because of the fact that light gray jeans are just a little bit nicer to my end. A little darker, just so it doesn't poke out too much. Import. Fence. Although that's basically the background color of Viroid at that rate, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but it does make it impossible to see. Shoes. Yeah, the shoe one is gonna take me a bit. I guess we'll export shoes for now. Then that can go away. So can the guide. Don't save. And because the main thing we would want to do on these is turn these into work boots with like steel toes. So what we'll need to do, I think it's the plate there. That's actually about acceptable. So what we'd want to do here is get a gray, a deeper gray, to just kind of cover up this area. Then we can add the appropriate shine to it later. Honestly, following that line is probably in my best interest, so I'll just do that. Here we go. So a plate there. We'll still have the laces, but this will probably be a bit more of a like work booty brown. Like so. I'll get a bigger brush for this one. I'm gonna need to cover up all of this absent-minded Nike logoing. I'm also realizing this is quite the puke brown color, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Won't exactly have to worry about the tongue, but it'll be good to know where it is. Doot, doot. Tongue. There we go. Make that a little brighter. Then we can do a darker rubber for the bottoms. I'll have to see about detailing that with a bit of actual tracks on them. Especially just to line up with that, since that's actually new, but that is the bottom of the sole of the shoe, so that's good to have separately. Yep. Let's see. So, we'd probably want a lighter version of this, but not by a ton. And then we will have that kind of poking out here-ish to act as our shoe's tongue. Yep. Also, to make life easier, I'm just going to do this part now. And I'll be honest, I don't know what that section is yet. We'll have to experiment and just see what they're trying to do with that. Womp. Yep. Studio. Two. And then this is just going to be very, very basic situational positioning, but have boots like that, have the toes go up. Oh, those are laces. That's what they're for. I'm going to have to do something about those. Also clean up those lines. Yeah, that's the general idea at least. A bit more of a muted tonal situation going on for Outfit 2 and just Jude 2.0 in general. Camera? There we go. But kind of dark coat with camo on it. We'll have lighter gray pants just to contrast our normal shirt. We'll have brown work boots just so that way they stick out and actually look like proper foresting boots. And then the purple hair to just kind of stick out and be like, hey, focus on my face, please, and thank you. It's nice and pretty. Might actually be in my best interest to make this camo pattern area darker, but I'm not 100% certain on that yet. Time is up. It's about 11:30. That's about as much as I would want to do. Now, I guess there are still a good chunk of people lurking still. So I guess details-wise, I'll probably work on this more when my hands are agreeing with me and just the rest of my joints are agreeing with me. but I'm fine with ending a little bit earlier for now, especially since I can kind of feel my voice going out. But definitely want to thank everybody for stopping by, and I do want to just confirm on voice to thank Kin again for the raid, for bringing everyone in the Tanuki Temple over. Definitely rare that Kin gets to visit here, so it's nice to have them in the freezer. Aside from that, though, this is the end of my usual stream week for now. I'm not going to do anything special on the Monday just because of the fact that... Actually, one thing I can show before we're done.
Goodbye.
Get out of that. Overwrite. Let's see here. How do I actually show this? Come on, V-Ride, you can do it. There we go. We're going to be getting some pointy teeth added in on this. Mainly because of the fact that I'm mildly biased and I do prefer having some extra pointy teeth. And as an argumentative point, we can just say it's for cutting wood. But I figured I may as well show that, just so that people know in the future that I'll be able to do a little bit of extra chompy chomp instead of the flat things that I've got in this current body. Yeah, just to get back to what I was saying. We will be continuing on with most of the stuff that we've done this week next week. Saturdays are going to turn into Splatoon Saturdays, just because I prefer a little bit of alliteration, and I won't have to worry too much about the drop on the Friday for the game today. Or I won't have to worry about a Friday drop on Saturday, hopefully. But aside from that, we will be continuing on with Monster Hunter Wednesday. We'll continue Digimon on Thursdays. Actually, no, I am lying a little bit. We're going to be changing Fridays as well, to be honest with you, because we'll probably be swapping out Terraria for something. I'm just not sure what yet. We'll kind of figure that out. Yeah, that and Splatter Days. Splatter Days is just a good ring off the tongue. Not quite something that would fit in a thumbnail, but works out relatively well. Now let's see who's actually live right now. Got Frank, Alora, quite a few people actually. No one's specifically doing... I guess Alora's doing art. They have been going for 4 hours, though. Oh boy. Voice is leaving me. That's a good sign. If Alora's been going for 4 hours, I can't imagine them sticking for too much longer. Oh, no, okay, they moved back to CSP. Sure, we'll just go there. 1, right, 2. I spelled that right? Cool. Alrighty. Well, we're going to go deal with a T-posing ghost, so just make sure that you're grabbing the appropriate raid message for your sub-level. I think I've said pretty much everything I can say up to this point, so thank you everybody for joining us in the cabin today. Thank you to Kin for the raid, and for everybody for the added love to Funding the
Goodbye.
Freezer. I will get to talk to you properly on my own next week, but I'll be available for a bit of chatter tomorrow as well if we're doing parallel play. So, Hopefully you have a fantastic evening, and I will talk with you later. Bye-bye. 3, 4, 5.